Elysium was a jewel among the stars, a planet of breathtaking beauty with swirling green skies and lush, vibrant landscapes. But this beauty was a deception. The planet was a death world, a place where life evolved in the harshest conditions imaginable. The very environment that gave Elysium its visual splendor was also its deadliest attribute. Humanity's presence on Elysium was an audacious venture, born out of scientific curiosity and a thirst for exploration. The Elysium Research Facility, nestled in a relatively safer region of the planet, had become a hub for studying this unique world. Despite the frequent warnings and the inherent dangers, the lure of unknown flora, fauna, and the potential for groundbreaking discoveries drew scientists, engineers, and explorers from across the galaxy. The facility was a marvel of engineering, built to withstand the planet's hostile conditions. It was protected by a force field that repelled the toxic atmosphere and equipped with advanced life support systems to keep the crew safe from the deadly environment. Yet, despite these precautions, Elysium was an unpredictable world. Acid rains, aggressive wildlife, and treacherous terrain made every day a battle for survival. Dr. Elena Ramirez, a leading scientist at the facility, had always been fascinated by Elysium's mysteries. Her research focused on the planet's unique ecosystems and the potential for discovering new forms of life. But her work was not without risk. The planet's environment was constantly evolving, and every expedition into the wilds brought new challenges. One morning, a routine check of the communication logs revealed a troubling anomaly. A distress signal, faint and erratic, was broadcasting from a location deep in the Deathlands, a region infamous for its perilous conditions. The transmission was weak, struggling to pierce through the interference of Elysium's turbulent atmosphere. The signal was unmistakably a call for help, and it was coming from a site that was beyond the usual range of their operations. Elena's heart raced as she realized the implications. A distress signal meant that lives were at risk, and the signal's location suggested that whoever had sent it was in the most dangerous part of the planet. The Deathlands were a place where even the most experienced teams had met with disaster. If a rescue was to be attempted, it would require more than just a team of skilled professionals. It would demand the utmost courage and resolve. Dr. Elena Ramirez paced the command center, her eyes locked on the flickering screen that displayed the distress signal. The facility's main control room was a hub of activity, filled with scientists and engineers working on various projects. But today, the atmosphere was tense. The signal had been intermittent, and its source was dangerously close to the heart of the Deathlands. "Commander Zhao," Elena called out, her voice sharp with urgency. Commander Zhao, a veteran of the Elysium expeditions and a man known for his pragmatic approach, looked up from his desk. "Dr. Ramirez," Zhao replied, his expression guarded. "I see we've picked up a distress signal." "Yes," Elena said, nodding. "The signal's coming from the Deathlands. We need to investigate." Zhao's face hardened. "The Deathlands? You know how dangerous that area is. We've lost teams there before. It's a death trap. And we might lose more if we don't act," Elena countered. "This signal could be from a team that's still alive. They might be in dire need of rescue." Zhao sighed, rubbing his temple in frustration. "All right, but we're not sending anyone in without proper preparation. I'll gather a team and we'll assess the situation. But be aware, this will be a high-risk mission." The command center quickly shifted into action. Elena's mind raced as she thought about the potential risks and challenges. The Deathlands were notorious for their deadly flora and fauna. Acid rains, carnivorous plants, and predatory creatures made every step a potential disaster. The facility's emergency protocols were activated, and a team was assembled. The roster included a mix of specialists. Dr. Marcus Liu, an exobiologist with extensive knowledge of alien ecosystems. Ava Cole, an engineer known for her resourcefulness and quick thinking, and Sergeant Jake Thompson, a soldier with a reputation for bravery and combat prowess. As the team prepared for departure, Elena felt a surge of hope mixed with trepidation. The mission was fraught with danger, but the chance to save lives and unravel the mysteries of Elysium drove her determination. With the team assembled and ready, the next step was to venture into the heart of the Deathlands and uncover the truth behind the distress signal. The early morning sun cast long shadows across the Elysium research facility as the team gathered in the briefing room. The room was equipped with a holographic projector that displayed the coordinates of the distress signal. The atmosphere was a mix of tension and anticipation. Elena addressed the team, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. Our mission is to investigate the source of a distress signal coming from the Deathlands. The signal is weak, but it's clear that someone is in urgent need of help. Dr. Marcus Liu, a tall, lean man with a perpetually furrowed brow, adjusted his glasses as he studied the holographic display. The Deathlands are unpredictable. We'll need to be prepared for anything. The environment is hostile, and we may encounter flora and fauna that are unlike anything we've seen before. Ava Cole, the team's engineer, was already examining her equipment. She had a knack for improvising under pressure and was known for her ability to fix virtually anything. Her hands moved deftly as she checked the calibration of her gear. I'll make sure our equipment is in top shape. If anything breaks down out there, it'll be my job to fix it. Sergeant Jake Thompson, a burly man with a no-nonsense attitude, checked his weaponry and survival gear. His eyes were steely, reflecting a depth of experience and readiness for the challenges ahead. I'll handle the security. We'll need to be on high alert for any threats. The Deathlands aren't known for being forgiving. Elena nodded in agreement. We have a lot of ground to cover and minimal time. The signal could be a beacon for us to reach those in need before it's too late. We'll need to work as a cohesive unit and stay focused. The team's preparations were meticulous. Each member reviewed their roles and responsibilities, and equipment checks were performed with precision. They were equipped with advanced suits designed to protect them from the planet's toxic atmosphere, as well as weapons and tools necessary for survival and exploration. As they prepared to depart, Elena couldn't help but feel a sense of camaraderie with her team. Each member brought unique skills and experiences that were crucial for the success of the mission. The challenges ahead were daunting, but the prospect of saving lives and uncovering the mysteries of Elysium provided a powerful motivation. The team boarded their heavily armored vehicles, designed to withstand the harsh conditions of the Deathlands. The vehicles were equipped with state-of-the-art navigation systems, communication devices, and defensive mechanisms to protect against the myriad dangers they would encounter. With the team assembled and the mission set in motion, the vehicles roared to life and began their journey into the heart of Elysium's most perilous region. The Deathlands loomed ahead, a dark and foreboding expanse that promised both danger and discovery. As the convoy of armored vehicles ventured into the Deathlands, the landscape shifted dramatically. The vibrant jungles of the outer regions gave way to a more desolate and menacing terrain. The air grew thick with toxic spores, and the sky was a swirling mass of ominous clouds. The beauty of Elysium's surface had been replaced by an environment that seemed actively hostile. The team navigated through a maze of treacherous terrain. Ava Cole, the engineer, was already at work, fine-tuning the vehicle systems to ensure they could handle the harsh conditions. Her expertise was crucial. Even the smallest malfunction could jeopardize the entire mission. Meanwhile, Dr. Marcus Liu took samples of the atmosphere and examined the strange flora and fauna they encountered. The Deathlands were home to bizarre and often deadly life forms. Massive, chitinous insects with razor-sharp mandibles scuttled across the ground, while towering plants emitted noxious gases. Marcus's knowledge of alien biology allowed him to identify potential threats and make necessary precautions. Sergeant Jake Thompson stood guard, his eyes scanning the surroundings for any signs of danger. The Deathlands were notorious for their aggressive wildlife. The team had already encountered a few aggressive creatures, massive, insect-like predators that seemed to emerge from nowhere. Each encounter was a reminder of the dangers that lurked in every shadow. As they continued their journey, the team faced several challenges. Acid rains began to fall, corrosive droplets pitting the vehicle's exterior. Ava worked quickly to shield the vehicle's sensitive components from the corrosive effects, while Marcus took cover to avoid the toxic rain. The terrain became increasingly difficult to navigate. The ground was uneven, with sudden drops and unstable rock formations. The team had to use grappling hooks and other equipment to traverse these hazards. Each step was a calculated risk, with every member of the team contributing their expertise to ensure they moved forward safely. Despite the hardships, the team maintained a steady pace. The distress signal grew stronger as they approached the coordinates, providing a glimmer of hope amid the adversity. The journey was grueling, but the convoy pressed on, battling both the environment and the dangers that lurked within it. Ava Cole's engineering prowess was put to the test repeatedly. One vehicle's propulsion system malfunctioned due to a corrosive plant's excretions, and she had to quickly diagnose and fix the issue before the team was stranded. Her quick thinking and adept skills were crucial in keeping the convoy moving. Dr. Marcus Liu used the time during the vehicle's repairs to collect more environmental samples. His interest was piqued by the bizarre flora, such as a cluster of bioluminescent fungi that seemed to pulse with a rhythm of their own. He was careful to handle the samples with gloves and sealed containers, knowing that the spores could be both fascinating and hazardous. The team faced its first significant threat as they traversed a narrow canyon. The walls were lined with a carnivorous plant species that had evolved to catch anything that ventured too close. The plants had long, whip-like tendrils that reached out with alarming speed. Elena spotted the danger just in time and shouted a warning. Sergeant Thompson, always on high alert, reacted instantly, using a combination of firepower and tactical maneuvers to keep the plants at bay while the team maneuvered through the treacherous pass. As night fell, the Deathlands took on an even more foreboding aspect. The temperature plummeted, and the sky was lit by eerie, aurora-like lights that seemed to dance across the horizon. The team set up temporary camp in a sheltered area, their vehicles forming a protective perimeter. Elena took this opportunity to review their progress and recalibrate their tracking equipment. The distress signal was stronger but still intermittent, suggesting that the source was close but surrounded by interference. The team gathered around a portable heater, sharing a meal in silence as they mentally prepared for the next leg of their journey. Despite the harsh conditions, there was a sense of camaraderie among the team. They had faced numerous challenges together and had managed to overcome each one. The shared purpose of their mission created a bond that strengthened their resolve. The next day, the team ventured deeper into the Deathlands, following the distress signal's increasing strength. The environment grew more hostile as they approached their destination. The flora became even more aggressive, and the terrain was increasingly unstable. Navigating through a dense thicket of bioluminescent fungi, the team encountered new hazards. The ground was covered in a thick, viscous substance that threatened to ensnare their boots. Ava had to devise a way to prevent their equipment from getting bogged down. Meanwhile, Marcus carefully examined the fungi, noting their bioluminescence and the way they seemed to emit a faint, almost hypnotic glow. Suddenly, they were ambushed by a pack of predatory creatures, sleek, insectoid beings with chitinous exoskeletons and razor-sharp appendages. The predators attacked with a coordinated ferocity, forcing the team to defend themselves. Sergeant Thompson took the lead, using his combat training to fend off the creatures, while the rest of the team fought to protect their position. The battle was intense and exhausting. Elena's tactical decisions helped the team maintain their defense, while Ava worked on keeping the communication systems functional despite the interference caused by the creatures. Marcus identified the predators' weaknesses and relayed this information to the team, which proved crucial in turning the tide of the battle. When the predators were finally driven off, the team was left with a sobering reminder of the Deathlands' dangers. Exhausted but undeterred, they pressed on, driven by the knowledge that the distress signal was close. As they reached the coordinates, they discovered the remnants of an old outpost, partially collapsed and overgrown with hostile vegetation. The distress signal was coming from within the ruins, and the team had to carefully navigate through the treacherous environment to reach the source. The outpost was a grim sight. Its walls were battered and covered with creeping vines that emitted toxic gases. Inside, the air was heavy with the stench of decay and desperation. The team found the survivors, an isolated group of researchers huddled in a makeshift shelter. They were weak and dehydrated, their eyes reflecting the ordeal they had endured. Dr. Sarah Patel, the leader of the stranded team, greeted them with a mixture of relief and exhaustion. "You found us," she said, her voice trembling. "We thought we were done for." Elena and her team quickly assessed the situation. The life support systems of the outpost were failing, and the survivors were on the brink of collapse. Elena organized the survivors and the team into groups to address the immediate needs, repairing the life support systems, providing medical aid, and preparing for an evacuation. As they worked, the distress signal that had led them there had also attracted attention. The Deathlands predators were closing in, drawn by the activity and the scent of desperation. The team had to fortify the outpost and prepare for a defensive stand. The predators' assault came just as the outpost systems were beginning to stabilize. The team was thrust into another battle, this time with the additional pressure of protecting the survivors. Sergeant Thompson and his team engaged the predators with determination, while Ava made last-minute repairs to the outpost's defenses. Marcus's knowledge of the local wildlife proved invaluable. He identified the predators' behavioral patterns and relayed this information to the team, helping them anticipate and counter the creature's attacks. The battle was fierce, with the team fighting off wave after wave of relentless predators. In the midst of the chaos, Elena coordinated the evacuation efforts. She guided the survivors to the vehicles, ensuring they were safe and accounted for. The team's combined efforts allowed them to hold the line and protect the survivors as they made their way to the convoy. With the outpost secured and the survivors evacuated, the team began their journey back to the research facility. The predators, enraged by their failed assault, pursued the convoy with relentless tenacity. The vehicles roared to life, and the team navigated through the perilous terrain with a renewed sense of urgency. The return journey was fraught with danger. The predators were relentless, attacking the convoy at every opportunity. Sergeant Thompson and his team worked tirelessly to fend off the creatures, using every weapon and tactic at their disposal. Ava's engineering skills were crucial in keeping the vehicles operational despite the constant assaults. As they approached the facility, the team faced one final challenge. A massive storm, typical of the Deathlands, loomed on the horizon. The storm brought torrential rains and lightning, further complicating their escape. Elena and her team had to navigate through the storm while keeping the convoy safe from both the elements and the pursuing predators. Despite the adversity, the team's perseverance and skill shone through. The convoy reached the safety of the research facility just as the storm reached its peak. Exhausted but triumphant, the team was greeted with cheers and relief from their colleagues. The survivors were given medical attention, and the facility's staff began to assess the damage and prepare for the next steps. The mission's success was celebrated, and Elena and her team were hailed as heroes. Their bravery and determination had saved lives and provided invaluable insights into the Deathlands. In the aftermath of the mission, the Elysium Research Facility continued its work, but the story of the rescue mission became a legend. It was a testament to humanity's resilience and courage in the face of overwhelming odds. The mission had demonstrated that even in the harshest environments, human spirit and ingenuity could overcome the seemingly impossible. The story of Elena Ramirez, Sergeant Jake Thompson, Dr. Marcus Liu, and Ava Cole became an enduring symbol of hope and determination. Their bravery in the Deathlands had not only saved lives, but had also deepened humanity's understanding of Elysium's mysteries. As they continued their work on the planet, they knew that the challenges ahead would be great, but their experiences had proven that with courage, skill, and teamwork, Even the most formidable obstacles could be overcome.